Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, September 23rd. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Glad to have you with us tonight. Police say it's a crime of opportunity. Thieves targeting drivers at gas stations and stealing their valuables in a blink of an eye. Officers from the Prince George's Police Department were in Bowie this morning, passing out flyers and educating residents. CTV's Sonia Srivastava has more.
Take a close look at this video. A white car pulls up just as a driver on the left is starting to pump gas, and within seconds, look what happens. The driver's valuables are stolen within a blink of an eye. The same thieves target another car just seconds after stealing from the first one. Both these incidents happened recently at a Safeway gas station on Fairwood Parkway in Bowie. Today, officers from District 2 passed out flyers to alert commuters. Frank Decker says he understands how doors can be left unlocked.
Sometimes they won't come to get a snack or something, so they'll just leave it open thinking that it'll be like a quick minute. But yeah, I understand how it could be a safety issue.
And we got this new campaign going out. We're trying to get citizens to take everything out of their vehicles that are valuables.
Now, one of the main tips that police are giving to drivers here is to keep valuables like purses and laptops out of sight. And one of the main things that you can do is get off of your phone, whether you're updating your status or chit-chatting. Distraction is the biggest thing that you need to be aware of.
They should always lock their car. Even if they're standing right next to it and they're just pumping and paying right at the pump, they should still lock their car to prevent anyone from being able to easily open that car. And three, we're asking people that, particularly if they are going inside to pump and to pay for their gasoline, to remove or hide those valuable items, particularly in the trunk or some sort of locked container inside their car.
Alexander says although the number of thefts from cars is down nearly 13% countywide this year, incidents like these are constant reminders to drivers to stay alert.
With me, I always pump right at the car, and I never leave the car. So I just use the credit card and get right back in. But it does concern me that that's going on in the area.
We're really confident that if we can find a way to educate the community that this kind of crime is occurring and then just offer them some basic tips, that that this kind of crime will be dramatically reduced.
Now, police continue to look for the suspects that you saw in the video, and we're not sure at this time if all of those three are connected. But once again, if you do know anything about them, you are asked to call Prince George's County Police. In Bowie, I'm Sonia Srivastava for CTV News.
And the number for Prince George's County Police is 1-866-411-TIPS.
Senator Ben Cardin brings Montgomery County Council members up to speed on several hot-button issues today. Cardin addressed local concerns surrounding transportation and infrastructure before moving on to sequestration and federal budget talks. The senator explained why Congress is so close to falling off the fiscal cliff and how that could soon impact federal employees and the national economy.
Boehner's problem is that he has a minority within his caucus that control, and they're telling him you can't put yourself in a position where you're going to come out with something that we won't support. We passed the budgets a long time ago, but we haven't been able to negotiate because they won't sit at a table. What you normally do in this situation is you pass a continuing resolution. It's not a good thing to do, but it's better than the alternative. And the alternative, of course, is to close government, or the alternative, when you haven't negotiated, you're using a convoluted process, usually use an omnibus bill. So, but we haven't done any of those things.
Congress has until the end of the month to reach a decision. Meantime, Montgomery County President Nancy Navarro introduces a bill that aims to protect voting rights and to reform the county's election process. The Right to Vote resolution would create a task force that would offer proposals to state and federal officials on ways to expand voter participation, among other goals. The measure also calls on Congress to restore a key provision of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 that was struck down by the Supreme Court earlier this year.
In my opinion, to number one, take a look at how we're doing here in Montgomery County now that we're expanding early voting sites. And as we try to promote voter participation, especially in our communities of color, in our disenfranchised communities, if we don't have these pieces in place, how can we then ensure all of these community members that their vote counts?
I think everybody knows that in this country, too much blood and too many tears have been shed to secure the right to vote, and it was just scandalous earlier this year to see the Supreme Court in the 5-4 decision in Shelby to roll back the clock on an important part of the Voting Rights Act.
County Council also voiced support for D.C. residents in their effort to gain full representation in Congress.
We raise our own money. We raise over $6 billion a year in income taxes, property taxes, and sales taxes. Why is it that we have to send our budget to the Congress of the United States in order to be approved?
And the council is scheduled to vote on the resolution tomorrow.
As the race for the Maryland governor's seat heats up, the Democratic candidates are not only vying for your vote, but they're vying for endorsements as well. Today, Delegate Heather Mazier, Attorney General Doug Gansler, and Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown spoke at the Maryland State and D.C. Trades Conference. They each talked about their relationship with the labor sector and their vision for moving it forward.
I'm going to walk through and talk about a range of initiatives that I passed through the General Assembly to help impact middle-class family lives, from healthcare expansions to job creation, protecting the environment, and building up our communities. But more importantly, it's about the vision for the future of the state and who's going to be there to stand by labor's side and to make sure that we have good, well-paying jobs with important protections in place.
What I'm going to try and get across today is that I'm in government to be a voice for the voiceless. I'm not there for special interests. I don't view labor as a special interest. I view it as a partner in the redevelopment and getting the economy back going in Maryland, and that we can do a great deal for the working people of Maryland.
Talk about our shared values, supporting working men and women, ensuring that we've got adequate wages and benefits and employment standards, ensuring that we're focusing on making the kinds of investments in infrastructure that puts men and women back to work in construction, in the building trades. It supports our growing economy and expanding communities. So I'd also like to be able to share with them a little about my record and the things that I've done in partnership with labor.
Doug Gansler is expected to officially announce his gubernatorial candidacy tomorrow in Rockville. On the Republican side, the candidates thus far are Harford County Executive David Craig and Delegate Ronald George.
Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown picks up another endorsement in his bid for the state's top job. Senator Barbara Mikulski announced yesterday that she's ready to help elect Brown as Maryland's next governor. Mikulski says she feels strongly enough about it to get involved in the Democratic primary, which is unusual for her. A rally was held Sunday in Silver Spring for the announcement in the home county of Brown's two Democratic primary opponents. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.